Van Halen today, Mean Street. What can you say? Intro. What is audiology? Frankly, I just thought it sounded cool, but it turns out it's a real thing. But we're not here to talk about hearing and balance. We're here to talk about music. We're here to talk about bands and artists that we love. We're here to talk about studio and live and concert performances. We might even add in some concert sound and lighting. Who knows? Basically, it's the best things about the bands we love the most. Let's go. Van Halen, Mean Street. This song is from their fourth studio album, Fair Warning. And although it's the slowest selling of the albums of the David Lee Roth era, it was critically accepted and acclaimed. And this song is one of my favorites, Mean Street. Joe Satriani has gone on to say that this is one of the most difficult Eddie Van Halen intros to play. And that says a lot, frankly. So this band, what can you say about this band? Obviously, you've got Eddie Van Halen, widely regarded as one of the greatest guitar players of all times, inventive, maybe the most widely mimicked or copied guitar player. The 80s and 90s was all about guitar players that grew up cutting their teeth on Eddie Van Halen. And brother Alex Van Halen on drums, Michael Anthony on bass, made a great rhythm section. And David Lee Roth, maybe one of the best frontmen ever, certainly in the top 10. It wasn't just his voice. It was the fact that he added so much stage presence. It was his jumps and his yells and, his bigger-than-life personality. And this band was bound to explode and blow up based on the personalities eventually, which they did, of course. There's the Sammy Hagar era that came after this. But, Eddie Van Halen really is the focus here today. This man, you don't have to be a guitar player to recognize brilliance. You need to listen to 1 minute and 42 seconds of Eruption, the studio guitar solo that he did. And it literally is a master class in guitar. It is tone, it is technique, it is finger tapping, and the biggest thing of all to me is taste. After Eddie Van Halen, there came a lot of guitar players that were all about speed. Yngwie Malmsteen, Reb Beach, that whole generation that just played as fast as they could. And while that technical level of proficiency is impressive, playing a melodic solo that people remember and the warmth of Eddie's tone and the fact that Eruption, come on, 1 minute and 42 seconds of, perfection. There's nothing in that solo that's boring. There's nothing that's like, okay, this is going on too long. It is, like I said, a masterclass in guitar playing. And this song has one of the best grooves, guitar and bass, when it kicks in after the intro. It is just a driving song. And I think one of the songs that best represents them as a band. Anyway, Mean Street. Let's get it.
Street past the crazy crazies on my block, and I see the same old faces, and I hear that same old talk, and I'm searching for the latest thing, a break in this routine. I'm talking some new kicks, ones like you ain't never seen. This is home. This is Mean Street.
There's so much personality in that vocal. Let's go back and listen to the whole mix.
Walk this stinking street past the crazies on my block, and I see the same old faces, and I hear that same old talk, and I'm searching for the latest thing, a break in this routine. I'm talking some new kicks, ones like you ain't never seen.
So good. Let's isolate the rhythm section. We're sick of these four walls. Now what you think is nothing might be something after all. Now you know this ain't no through street. The end is dead ahead. The poor folks play for keeps down here. They're the living dead. Come on down, down to Mean Street. What can you say about David Lee Roth?
And we don't worry about tomorrow, 'cause we're sick of these four walls. Now what you think is nothing might be something after all. Now you know this ain't no through street. The end is dead ahead. The poor folks play for keeps down here. They're the living dead. Come on down to Mean Street. They're dancing now.
Unbelievable. So tasteful.
It's always here now, my friend. It ain't once upon a time. It's all over but the shouting. I come to take what's mine. We're searching for the latest thing. A break in this routine. Talking some new kicks. Ones like you ain't never seen. This is home. This is Mean Street. It's our home. Only one I know. This is home. See, a gun is real easy. This is Mean Street. In this desperate part of town. turns you from hunted into hunter. Yeah. You're gonna hunt somebody down. Wait a minute now. Somebody said, man, what it love? Lord, strike that one boy down.
So that little bit at the end and the other isolated rhythm guitar part. I mean, even those parts, listen to that fat, chunky sound. Um, you know, you can say whatever you want about other guitar players, but Eddie's tone may be what he's known best for. And the reason why so much, everything sounds so tasteful. Obviously, the tapping technique. But the man just, you watched him play and had that smile that he had, like he knows something you don't, which he probably did, obviously. His skill and his personality went together, and he was you listen to all the parts he's played on various songs, and they're all the warm, chunky, fat sound. That's what I think makes a guitar solo and makes guitar pleasant to listen to instead of a screaming, high-pitched arpeggios up and down the fretboard. But Van Halen is a great band. They will certainly go down in one of the top 25 rock bands ever. There's no doubt about it. And David Lee Roth was a great front man, and that era of Van Halen was just magical. Anyway, that was Mean Street, the great Eddie Van Halen, and rest in peace. But hope you liked it. I'm out.